complete disarray. In that regard, clearance operations are being conducted. On the 29th of December, at about 06:47 hours, own troops embark on clearance operation to Dumu Forest in coordination with the operation. And the troops cleared Dumu Forest, Dumu Village, I beg your pardon, and Bulajuta. They also carried out bombardments of some suspected locations, and including Gombole, Malabi, Shewolowo, Izuwe, Ngwalimiri, and Latan villages. On the 31st, at about 09:45 hours, own troops conducted a clearance operation to Iowa village, which is, of course, for those of you, into Sambisa, as crow flies, about 25 kilometers. Troops cleared Tula, Majaja, Nafaida, Jaja, Masukura, and before getting to Iowa. Although there was no contact that was made, we found a mini Boko Haram terrorist camp, and of course, what we saw there were destroyed in situ. Now, we equally the troops equally assembled the villagers that were found, and then carried out a quick profiling, and with some interaction with the villagers, where, of course, the locals informed the troops of one, that was in their midst, who was in the habit of giving food items to the Boko Haram terrorists. And, of course, he was picked and currently is undergoing interrogation in our facility. Now, within the period, we have arrested a good number of the Boko Haram terrorist elements. Some of them are commanders, and others, of course, are criminal gangs. On the 25th, at about 10:00 hours, own troops at Portiscum apprehended a Boko Haram terrorist member. His name is Musa, and of course, the suspect is currently undergoing interrogation. We have blanked off their faces for obvious reasons. On the 30th, at about 15:20 hours, own troops, in conjunction with the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, arrested a suspected Boko Haram terrorist by name Rabiu. Of course, I'll leave his surname as usual, at Bajoga. You realize that a good number of them are fleeing from these areas, going to some other places. But of course, because of the security tentacles that we have around the entire Northeast, that's why we're able to pick them. And the suspect, of course, he fled to Gombe, and as a result of the recent attacks, this was from the interrogation we've made so far. And he confessed to have been with the Boko Haram terrorists for the past 4 years, and he took part in the attack of troops along Damaturu-Maiduguri Road, amongst several others. The suspect, of course, is in our custody for further interrogation. On the 30th, at about 13:30 hours, our troops arrested another confirmed Boko Haram terrorist member at Goni Kala. The suspect, of course, was moved, whilst moving him to Damaturu, he attempted to flee and jump out of the vehicle. And of course, the troops, shot at him. Of course, along the line, he died, and his corpse was deposited at the General Hospital in Damaturu. On the 25th, at about 13:30 hours, troops, in conjunction with the Department of State Service, trailed two high-profile kidnappers, one Mohammed and another Sani, for an alleged plan to carry out an operation in Gombe and possibly escape to their camp at Yuga Forest in Bauchi State. The two kidnappers were tracked and arrested, and they are currently in custody of the Department of State Service. Of course, during the operation, one of the suspects attempted to also escape, but was shot. Unfortunately, he died later, whilst being taken care of in DSS custody. But the other suspect, Mohammed Ali, was is still in detention, and the items that were recovered from them included the sum of 28,000 naira, along with 3 mobile phones, 2 rings, tobacco, 1 eyeglass, wristwatch, and of course a lighter. On the 2nd of January, at about 19:20 hours, own troops deployed in Newman arrested one Dahiru Saidu, who was on transit from Lafiya, Lamude. And of course, the suspect, is one of those we've been looking for, that is on our wanted list, Syria 164. And that is his picture right on the screen there. Now, we also, within the period, intercepted suspected Boko Haram terrorists, captors that were arrested by Boko Haram terrorists. And that was on 29th at about 10:30 hours at, beyond Cashew Plantation. For those of you who know Maiduguri very well, our troops who were on that ISIS, the wives on patrol around Bale, Shuari, intercepted 30 cows. And of course, the cows, were abandoned by the Boko Haram terrorists, and right now they are being taken care of. Those are the cows. Now, ambush operation. On 30th December at about 06:30, armed troops that are deployed at Ran, and some of you have reported that as an attack, but it was actually our ambush positions that the fleeing Boko Haram terrorists, who did not know that they were there, of course, ran into them. And so in the process, 15 of the Boko Haram terrorists were killed. And unfortunately, of course, 4 soldiers were wounded. That is our soldiers. Of course, they were airlifted to Maiduguri for treatment. Now, some of the items that were recovered from there included 2 AK-47 rifles and 4 FN rifles, as well as M21 rifle, and quantity 110 rounds of 7.62 millimeter NATO ammunition, 40 pieces of M21 rounds, that is the ammunition meant for the M21 rifle, as well as 4 FN extra magazines and 2 locally made explosives. Also, on the 2nd of January 2017, at about 01:10 hours, again, our troops, in the position at Lugmani, Boko Haram came across, and those who possibly wanted to flee towards the Lake Chad came in contact with the troops, and of course, the troops, dealt with them accordingly. Of course, several of the Boko Haram terrorists escaped with gunshot wounds. How did we know? The exploitation that was further carried out, during period of daylight, because 01:30, it's the heat of the night, and so what they did was during daylight they exploited and of course found the bloodstains all over, indicating, of course, they also tried to do an exploitation further to see where they went. That trail was conducted, but no dead body was found. And as you know, that Boko Haram is in the habit of taking away their dead bodies when they have the time to do so. Now, following the opening up of roads and the desire for us to have the entire residents in the various areas that we've liberated for them to return, Damasak residents, of course, have been returning. They've been cleaning up their homes. Some have started rebuilding. And a few of the pictures that you can find as life is beginning to return to normal in Damasak. Some of those returnees, of course, left from Maiduguri here. Others came in from Niger Republic. And currently, our troops are, ensuring that there is no Boko Haram terrorists that infiltrates into their ranks. The civilian JTF also have been operating for the civilian for them to be more effective whilst in Damasak. Also within the period, we had cases of person-borne improvised explosive devices on the 31st precisely at about 21:35 hours. Again in the night, a female suicide bomber detonated her explosive device strapped on her at customs area in Maiduguri. She was the only casualty because there was no other casualty. Again, on the 1st of January, perhaps also wanting to disrupt the peace that has existed, there was another case of IED. But this time around, I think knowing what has happened to the rest, this time the suicide bomber decided to remove the vest and dumped somewhere, which we discovered, and of course we called the police EOD team, and that was detonated around the Gomari Locust general area. Again, let me say that this morning, just this morning, today, we had, a case of 3 suicide bombers who were trying to move to a bank in Dusi, that is in Madagali Gulag general area towards Limankara. And those 3 suicide bombers, because of the alertness of our troops, when they were accosted, they refused to halt, hoping to run into our troops. Of course, they were shot at, and the explosive they carried was what led to what you find. As gory as they look, we have no choice but to let you know what is happening around your environment. So the 3 of them, the female, died. The last time we met, I hinted you that the Cameroonians, I think arising from the question that was asked, regarding, Goza Hills and behind towards the border with Cameroon, I did indicate that the Cameroon forces are currently operating at Ngoshe. So within the week, we had a link up with them, and the operations they've been conducting have been very successful. That's one of our commanders, right there, the commander of 26th Brigade, and the next to him, I'm sure you could distinguish from the uniform, is the commander, Brigadier General Buba from Cameroon, along with. So please run through some of the recoveries from Ngoshe general area. What we find was that they have used the place for making of bombs and IEDs. That discovery, of course, besides what the recovery that we made earlier when we had an operation there, these are further exploitation which the Cameroonians conducted, and these are the recoveries from there. And of course, we are also working out a means of ensuring that that general area is properly dominated, and that we'll never have the Boko Haram come back there to reoccupy the place. I'm sure for those of you who know, Ngoshe is a fairly large town, and we believe that going forward, it will not be left fallow. We're now going to dominate the place and ensure that incidents of this nature do not occur. Now, I'll take a little pause and let us show you some of the video arising from our air operations, for the past 1 week. Very quickly, just a few minutes, I'll try to explain what you find on the screen. And so you go and prepare for the little surprise that I have for my friends. Now, play the video. All right. Just this again. A lot has been said. I don't want to join issues with if those who have other perspectives to this operation. They are not the one to set the agenda for my operations. I wouldn't allow Boko Haram to set the agenda. Right now, we set the agenda. And I would also like to join issues with pessimists. We will not be distracted. These are part of the pursuits, as can be observed from the air, Good. These are our troops as part of the exploitation in the entire Sambisa forest, which we are currently conducting. We thought that it's essential for us to dominate. Of course, that's the aircraft that's also giving them a cover. As these are ground troops captured from above, from the sky. Why we do this is to ensure that there is no breathing space for the Boko Haram terrorists to establish any foothold. Having been routed, we thought that we should dominate. If we are still searching all the nooks and crannies of Sambisa forest, the operation continues. And all right, would you mind to maybe fast forward, if it's possible? Would you mind? Okay. Okay. All right. Now, we don't just go during the day. Wherever we get to, we harbor. Harbor means you spend the night there. It's not developed as a defensive location, but then it's a place where you could have your administration. This was actually captured in the night, and where you refit and have some administrative issues sorted out that will enable you to commence the following morning. And of course, if for whatever reason you're surprised, you are also able to address those challenges. Okay, while that is showing, would you mind, can you call, yes, come on. So I felt that, each time we come here to tell you that some of the Boko Haram terrorists, take them here, and their commanders that we've captured, we felt we should show you. We need to show them to you. All right. So a few of them from the true factions of, all right, okay. Shoot them that way, further down, further down, further down. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here you are. You could see young men, apart from the part of the center, you could see that they are very young people who have been misled. But thank God that since some of them surrendered and some were captured and they've been with us, a lot of rethinking has come into them. Perhaps, would you mind to just maybe two of them can talk to, where is the other microphone? Okay, use this. Let two of them talk to you.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum ya jama'a. To ni ne wadda aka fi sani da suna Amirul Doki. Ina markasin Abu Khalid, ni yaran Abu Khalid. To bai can haka na bar Sambisa ni da su muka koma kangar. Muna kangar daga nan na ga gashi dai dama mun bar kangar da suna muna ga kaman koma manar zai je apologize Nigeria. To sai ya zama na gashi yadda muka fahimci abun kawai yaudara ne. Don ni da na san cewa in na zo authority za ta karbe ni haka tun da daɗewa da na kawo kaina. Don ban wuce shekara 2 ba da suke capturing na daga Adamawa State Movie. So kuma sai gashi yadda muka tsinci kanmu. Nigeria ta taking care namu gashi yadda muke. A haka yan uwanmu wasu da sun san da cewa za su fahimci rayuwarsu kamar yadda muke, su ma da sun kawo kansu. To ni dai abin da zan ga yan uwana wadda suke jeji ya tara don rayuwarmu na jeji ba rayuwa ba ne, rayuwa ne na wahala. Baka sanya rayuwanka zai tafi, yaranka da kawo ba baka sanya za su kasance ba. Kai gashi nan dai kana wani rayuwar wahala, yau kana guje-guje ta nan, gobe kana tara. To shine dai abin da zan ga yan uwana. Musamman nake kawo kanmu.
My name is Joseph David. My name is Joseph David. But the real name I am using there is that's Ibrahim Legina. That's the name that they have chosen to me. So I want to thank God how the Nigerian authority show me and take care of me, because I didn't think of that. When I went out of that place, they will show me that they will take care of me and do me whatsoever I like, for I to calm down my mind before the time they will release me and I will go back to my normal family. So that is why I take this time to tell to my people right there in the bush that, because when they are there, they do not think that Nigeria army, if they came and surrender, they will not be killed because of the situation they are facing. Because the leaders that they are there, they already deceive them. They confuse them with their with what they like. So that when they confuse them, the thing enter their heart. It's already become chronic. That is why they are fearing to come and meet the authority. So I take this chance for I to show myself. Let them come out of that place, because let them see, let them come and enjoy our life here in Nigeria. Even though there is a many way to worship God, but this what they are doing is not a religion. This what they are doing, even the Quran and the Bible did not say that somebody, if he killed, he will enter that paradise. So I am advising them, let them see and come and join us here. Nothing soldiers will do.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, mun gode ma Allah da farko, kuma mun gode ma gwamnatin Najeriya da ainihin ta karbe mu hannu biyu. Duk wanda yake cikin jejin nan, idan ya gani yadda ake labarin a gwamnatin Najeriya, to ba haka bane ashe. Mun zo mun ga alama adalci tabbas. Gaskiya ne abin da ake faɗa, suna karɓan saranda, kuma za a samu canjin rayuwa in Allah ya yarda. Don komai za a yi shi ne in Allah ya yarda. Saboda haka muna kiran yan uwanmu da suke jeji da Allah su yi haƙuri, su bar dajin din nan, a dawo a ba da gwamnatin Najeriya haɗin kai a samu canjin rayuwa. Domin an samu canjin rayuwar da ba daɗi, to kuma gwamnati ko da yaushe ita mun ga alama gwamnatocin duniya ma da Najeriya suna ƙoƙari akan Allah ya maido da zaman lafiya, a samu canjin zaman da ake ciki. Saboda haka mun gode ma gwamnatin Najeriya sosai. Allah ya saka da alheri. Kuma muna kiran kowane ɗan uwanmu ya fito daga cikin jejin nan, a zo a ba da haɗin kai, a samu canji rayuwa domin a samu yanayi mai kyau. In Allah ya yarda, wannan shine abin da gwamnati yake bukata. Assalamu alaikum.
All right. Okay, well done. We chose to do that without actually covering their faces, because these ones, they are going through the process of repentance. And they are among the recently captured and surrendered. And 4 of them actually from Mama Noor's faction, while the remaining 6 are from the Shekau, so to speak, faction. So there you find them. Now within the period, we have a summary of those that we've arrested and rescued, a total of 1,400 of them. Of course, you know, if you were those who surrendered, I'm sure you saw the earlier slide. So that was not part of what the total is. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we start the new year, I urge all to contribute selflessly to building on the peace process which we have fought tirelessly to achieve. Please report any suspicious movement of persons and objects to the military or to the nearest security agencies. We, in Operation Lafiya Dole, will not rest on our oars until we totally, of course, achieve the mandate for which Operation Lafiya Dole was constituted. Meanwhile, for us also in Operation Lafiya Dole, we remain very grateful to Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, for all the support and encouragement. Equally, the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, as well as other service chiefs are well appreciated for their leadership and support. To the media and other stakeholders, especially the governments and the good people of the northeastern states of Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states, I say that your contributions and support are most valued. Remember, we have won the war. We need to win the peace. Thank you, and God bless. We will now spend the rest of the quality time that we have for all the questions. So, like I said, the forthcoming, ask, there is no bound, ask any question you so wish. And we'll be here along with my colleagues to answer them. Yes, please.
Thank you, General. Once again, let me commend the Nigerian Army for a good job, sir, and the other senior officers here. Sir, it's a worrisome when people start seeing
your name, and so that
sorry, sir,
not just for me.
Haruna Dauda, I report for BOA. Thank you, sir. People surrendering themselves, particularly suspected members of Boko Haram, submitted themselves to the Nigerian Army in the name of surrender. How sure are we these people will not go back after being released by Nigerian Army to go and perpetrate another or attack the public in question, and maybe go back to their community and start, linking with the other members who are yet to surrender to carry out another attack. Another issue, sir, is the issue of an arrest by one of the local government chairman, which was going around as rumor. We take it as rumor because we didn't hear anything from the Nigerian Army.
Okay.
This rumor was lingering for long, that one of the local government chairman was being arrested for harboring one of the suspected member of Boko Haram. Some say he's even a commander of the Boko Haram. We're here to hear that from you. And another arrest was also made by Nigerian Army, as we heard, by the Nigerian Army, by chairman of one of the local government as well, in respect of cattle wrestling. We want you to clarify this issue. How true is that? Thank you.
Yes.
General, sir, my name is Ibrahim Gwamna, and I publish Limelight magazine. I want to know that from what we have seen now, these young men that have surrendered or arrested, the young men that have either been arrested or they surrendered, we have established that they are from the two camps. Is there any way that they could be used to get the Mohammed Nur and the Sheikh to come together and maybe reconcile their differences so that we could maybe get them faster?
Yeah, I'm Baba Gana Mohammed, representing Peace FM and FRCN Northeast Zone. So, I've seen 10 suspected Boko Haram captured, and they are now in the process of repenting, if I got you right. So I want to know the age bracket of the oldest among, and then the youngest.
My name is Ismail Alpha Ibrahim. I write for Associated Press. Yes, so seeing these young men paraded here as surrendered Boko Haram members, and we also were made to understand that they are to undergo the radicalization process. Now, in the spirit of fairness, much as we look at them as people who have killed so many innocent souls but have now surrendered, Nigerian army, Nigerian soldiers at one time or the other were caught in the web of this, and most of them were even court-martialed. In the spirit of fairness, don't you think there should be a revisit on the issue of these young men that have selflessly made themselves available to serve their country, and in the process, they found themselves in the wrong side of the law?
So let me get a question. Is this on the side of these young men or in terms of troops?
If these young men will be given all this regards and respect for this through the radicalization process, then the Nigerian army also had its own, some troops were found wanting in the discharge of their duty, and most of them were even court-martialed.
Correct.
In the spirit of fairness, if these young men will be given the opportunity to rebuild their lives, don't we think as Nigerians, as countrymen, that the issue of these troops be revisited?
Okay.
My name is Blessing Tuno. I report for Channels Television. We know that part of the vision of the Chief of Army Staff is to have a professionally responsive army and all of that. You've shown us slides of how you've arrested some of those Boko Haram terrorists, and of course there are women, there are children. Would you say that your soldiers out there in the field, are conscious of human rights issues? How do they deal with some of those people they have arrested, even though Amnesty and human rights organizations are not out there in the field to tell us what's going on? But, what would you say about your troops' sensitivity to human rights issues? And then, secondly, from the last time we met, you've been talking about how we won the war, and now we need to win the peace. I don't know what you mean by that. What exactly do you mean by this peace winning, and how is it going? From the last time we met, when you said Sambisa has been captured, how is the peace winning process going? Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Sadiq Abubakar. I represent Blueprint newspaper, sir. My question now, sir, is the issue of sub-targets within the cities in the Northeast has become an issue of great concern. May we know what the military particularly is doing in respect of these sub-targets, that innocent lives are being killed by these Boko Haram terrorists using young girls in towns. And my second question, sir, is there has been rumor that the effort of the military in returning some civil servants or residents of Baga were delayed for at least 5 days or so in Mongunu. without any explanation. Some of them were even complaining, and they wanted even the press to come in. So before we go on air or to the press, we want to hear your own side, then to balance up the story, sir. Thank you, sir.
My name is Ahmed Mari. I write for Champion newspapers. So there is this rumor that Shekau and his group are in Kalabelge bush. Are you aware? If yes, then what effort have you made to locate him?
My name is Daud Abaya. I write for the Nigerian Parliament. Sir, these young men have admitted that they really took part in the attack. They really belong to the Boko Haram sect. Why can't they be sent to the courts and then tried, be prosecuted, instead of just leaving them like that? Because we know that they have committed a lot of atrocities. And it will not be, in the spirit of justice, just to let them go like that.
General, I'm still on the same question. I was going to refer to my colleague. My name is Bodwin Ikaude, Nigerian Tribune. The soldiers who were prosecuted, they were prosecuted by the law. Now, what he said was in the spirit of peace and fair play. Why can't we prosecute these ones? And if we are not prosecuting these ones, if you get Shekau before the end of this month, are you saying you will not prosecute Shekau? He too will walk around like a free man? And what will be the balance of psychology within the society? How would people look at things? Thank you.
My name is Maimuna Garba from NTA. So recently, the Chief of Army Staff has opened the Maiduguri Bagaro. What of Goza Road? Because it's the only road that is still closed in the staff.
My name is Michael Olugode. I write for Tuesday. What do we need to do as a nation to win the peace?
Okay. All right. I think these are very comprehensive questions. Perhaps let me see what I can do within limits of the time that's available to me. Very good questions, I must say. And I'll do my best to offer the best, of course, answers to them. Haruna, how are we sure that they will not perpetrate evil to the public? When criminals are prosecuted and they are jailed, the jail is only a reformatory structure. And so the going to jail is actually a process of reformation. And I want to believe you are well versed with what the Nigerian Prison Service, what they do right in the prisons. The fact that these ones have surrendered, and of course those who have also captured, and some process of de-radicalization has started, that, in my view, is an understanding that when the process is taken through its full course, that they will become responsible citizens. I have no reason whatsoever to doubt the sincerity of these young men. And I believe that everyone needs to also be given a chance. Maybe I'll leave that for now. But that someone has committed offense does not imply, okay, we should kill them. If there is time for justice, of course, they will answer based on issues that arise from the process of investigation that we've conducted. Of course, I want to also, I do hope you know that that's not my job as the theater commander, or in fact any of us here as members of Operation Lafiya Dole Theater Command. It's not our responsibility, but of course we have to also do our part to ensure that the madness, in terms of the security content of this madness, is taken care of. And I think that's what we're doing, and doing it in the right way. Arrest of the chairman. Yes, is the chairman of Mafa local government. You're very right. The true position is that, yes, of course, we have him, taken into our custody because he harbored one Boko Haram terrorist along with the father. So far, investigation revealed that the Boko Haram terrorist himself, who was taken to his house, who was kept in his house, was because his father, who actually knew that the son is a Boko Haram terrorist, approached the chairman because the chairman, of course, from all that we've found out, the chairman was also in the habit of, accommodating those who were rescued from the bush. But our investigation is still on. It's not yet concluded. But just to let you know that at this stage, that yes, he's in our custody, and further investigation will be carried out. Of course, at some point, he has been of value to us in Operation Lafiya Dole, having operated as a member of civilian JTF, especially being the chairman of Mafa local government. So he has done that. But that you've done that in the past, and if at some point we now find that we need to investigate you further, that does not deter us from doing that. But that was not to say that we have conclusively. We've concluded our investigations, and we're saying that he is a huge supporter of the Boko Haram terrorists. That is the position as it is today. The same goes for the vice chairman. I want to believe when you say vice chairman, there's nothing to hide. Is Kaga local government vice chairman? You're right. Yes, of course, he's also been taken into our custody. We're doing the preliminary investigations. The outcome, of course, we'll let you know. Sometimes when we do not, there are a lot of issues that we don't think at this stage should bring to the public domain. But since it's from your investigative journalism point of view, why not? We can clarify that to you. So that's the position with respect to that. Gwamna, your question, well, good question, no doubt. Why can't we use them to ensure that Shekau and Mamanu, that I wouldn't tell you, that's for us. I want to take that to be a suggestion to us. We will consider that if it becomes very relevant. But our position to it, that I will not tell you. But I want to thank you for that suggestion. I rather see it as a suggestion rather than a question. Babagana, age bracket. Unfortunately, I didn't appreciate that was going to come, so I didn't ask them, and I did not actually bring the records of their age. Of course, you could guess what the age of these ones are, and the oldest, of course, you know that it's not a baby. It should be approaching his 60s. Ibrahim, fairness. When we talk about fairness, you need to contextualize issues, all right? I'm a professional soldier, so also my colleagues here, we're all professionals. These are ragtags. That's disorganized. So it is not the same, you can't place us on the same pedestal as, with respect to what we do. But as human beings, of course, we're all equal. Let's get that understood. If I haven't undergone the kind of training, and along with my colleagues, they know what is right and what is wrong. That's why we talk about rules of engagement. That's why we talk about, code of conduct. You can't, because in any case, I should also ask you, there are a lot of people that are doing 419, that are stealing, that are going to do all manner of things, because times according to them, times are hard. Of course, times are hard for all of us. Would that not make you to go and start stealing because of fairness? That's the issue. As professional soldiers, you know the rules. You don't deviate from the rules, and just because we are fighting Boko Haram and these are people who have killed, who have maimed, so what? I don't think there's any basis for that comparison. Except I don't understand what you mean. I stand corrected. But if my understanding of your question is anything to go by, I think there's absolutely, there are two poles. This pole and that pole. And I think till eternity, they can never meet. They are parallels. Blessing. Beautiful question, no doubt. Human rights. Human rights issues are met, for me, I think they should be environment specific. There are general rules, there are general provisions. And for us in Operation Lafiya Dole, our code of conduct, in crafting the code of conduct, of course, we took cognizance of the international human rights law and international law. There are laws of armed conflicts. Those, of course, as part of our training, that is encapsulated. So we, of course, are very conscious of the provisions of human rights law, and that's what we obey. Now, unfortunately, what you find, and that some quarters have reported, is that they seem to remove the society from which we operate. They seem to remove us from the society that we operate. And I give you an example. These ones by the way, they have been in our detention. But I want to believe that they look healthier than those who are even on the streets. But we have also been accused by some apologists, human rights apologists, permit me if I use that word, to say that they are not being well taken care of. Coming to ask us to provide the range of meals that will ensure that they feed well. And I ask, what the man on the street, how is he feeding? The average man who is a worker, how is he feeding? In this society, we're not talking about other societies. In any case, you also find destitutes in even developed worlds. There are people who are destitutes in the US, there's a lot of destitutes in Europe. You know them. You've been there. So when you talk about human rights, I can understand. For us, of course, when you have a collection of people or a society or an institution, there are rules. Those rules are crafted because it takes into cognizance the fact that there are those who may be deviants within that structure. The question to ask is, for us in Operation Lafiya Dole, those who go against the rules, are there measures to bring them back on course? That we have in place. Of course, thank God, one of you did ask issues of court-martial. How did court-martial come into it? It's because an offense has been committed. So we do not close our eyes to such issues. But then, if you don't have an understanding of those issues and you now come to accuse us, then of course, I believe that such positions, I believe they are preposterous. And I think it needs they have to have a rethink. I also know that there are a good number of Nigerians who, of course, are being used as tools to want to possibly destabilize, for whatever reason, I don't know, and so that we don't end up getting against. I want to believe that should suffice for that. Winning the peace. I have said that winning the peace is a multi-sectoral engagement. You have a part to play, I have a part to play. The military, even though, yes, we have won the war, but we're not completely leaving, but we're always saying that, look, the issues, the activities that must take priority are civil-led, essentially civil-led. As part of the questions asked, the issues of intelligence, having to interact with the community, reconstruction, and a whole lot of other things are embedded in it. So I see going forward that other agencies that need to ensure that the borders are taken care of, they must do their job. Reconstruction must take place. Roads must be rebuilt. Communities and sensitization of the entire populace. Even though, yes, of course, this interaction we're having is part of it, but again, there must be a more holistic approach where people will not must be told that, the society must be regulated. What you say at some point, yes, freedom of speech, but at the same time, where your freedom ends is where mine starts. You cannot now offend my sensibilities, all because you've been given right to say whatever you like. No. Societies must be educated to know what is right and what is wrong, and where you are going against the mark. And I think that's precisely, it's not something I can tell you, just in one swoop. I think that as the dialogue continues, we'll be able to know the nuances, the various aspects of winning the peace. But I believe that we truly need to, because we need to build on the successes that we've gained in order for us to return back to our normal lives, especially in the parts of Nigeria. Soft targets. Again, do we have a plan? Of course, on a daily basis. Tomorrow I'm going to have a meeting with heads of other security agencies, in addition to all the commanders here, all geared towards ensuring that, of course, there's a plan. We're addressing that, and I just thought that's in relation to this question. Delay of 5 days. Well, of course, that we have opened the road. Sadiq, that we have opened the road does not mean that we want not to check. There are roadblocks. People need to be checked, because we also know that some people may want to take advantage of the fact that the roads are open. They think that our eyes are no longer on them. So that's the reason. It's not that it's intended to have people punish, no, not at all. Sheka and Kalabage, well, they'll just, will, if I know where he is, of course, I go to grab his balls. Prosecution of the Boko Haram terrorists. I think I've also covered this up earlier on when I was talking about issue of fairness. I believe that the government will make a pronouncement on such issues. Bordering, I think you need to, on the issue of the prosecution of the soldier, that of course I've also handled. The fairness, of course, I said they are parallels, two poles. A professional is a professional. I can't see, a lot of Boko Haram terrorists have killed my soldiers. And that doesn't mean that when I see them, if I capture them alive, if they die in crossfire, fine. But not that after capturing them, I kill them extrajudicially. That I will not do. My commanders wouldn't do that, and that will not. So there's not like issue of fairness. Memuna, Goza Bama Road. That's the only road left, you know that. You will get them opened very soon. I think I made that promise, and time passed. That we'll do very shortly. Mike, everybody, what should we do as a nation? Of course, that I've also tried to itemize while talking about winning the peace. We, as a nation, issues must be contextualized appropriately. I mean, institutions must be trusted. The military institution, for example, has been given a task. I think it behoves on every other Nigerian to trust the judgment of those who have been put in headship of those institutions, for them to know that, of course, if there are areas where I'm wrong as an individual, of course, I don't claim to be a perfect human being. All our commanders, there are those who may make mistake. But then, if we make mistake, let it be seen from the position of mistake. But if it was a deliberate attempt to do what is wrong, of course, go all out. I've told you before, I'm not asking you to cover me up. Don't cover us up. But then, because I said don't cover me up, you're not going to cook up stories that are not true, then of course, it's immoral of you to do that. And I think that your conscience should judge you, and posterity also will judge you if you do that. But for us as a people, as a nation, we must begin to give credible attention and support to those who have been entrusted with certain responsibilities for them to do what is needful. I don't know that. All right. Okay. All right. So let me, on that note, appreciate all of you once again. Well, we are making progress. This year promises to be good. That I can tell you. And together we will live in peace and harmony. Thank you, and God bless.
We've come to the end of the press briefing, which was addressed by the Theatre Commander, Operation Lafiya Dole, Major General Lucky Irabor, from the Military Command and Control Center of the headquarters of the Theatre Command in Maiduguri. The briefing was actually on the successes of the military in winning the war against terror in the Northeast region. We thank you for being part of the program, and on behalf of the management of NTA, the production and transmission crew, I am Abubakar Muhammad Musa, inviting you to enjoy the rest of our programs on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. Focus.